Dowdle. I'm with Cycle News Magazine, and this is the 2024 GSX-S1000GX. Well, basically it's a crossover type bike that Suzuki has introduced. Kind of fits between the GT and the V-Strom, somewhere in there. It's got taller suspension than the more road-going GSX bikes. It's got all electronic suspension. We've only ridden it briefly today. We're gonna get to ride it a bunch more tomorrow. But I can say so far, the electronics work really good. It's the typical ride modes. It's got A, B, C. It's actually how they're named. One is active, one is basic, and one is comfort. So pretty easy to remember, and they're pretty easy to get into. And once you're in those, they're all preset. There is a user mode that you can go in and you can change things like the preload, the torque control, the traction control, all of those typical things that you get with all these modern motorcycles these days. When you're in the preset modes, so the A, B, C modes, you get active dampening all the time. So the motorcycle is constantly adjusting for how fast you're going, what type of surface you're on, all those kinds of things are being accounted for. When you go into the user mode, all those things you can preset on your own. So a lot of sophistication in this motorcycle. The engineers from Suzuki are all here. I think there's like 20 engineers here. There's a lot of them, okay? So there's an engine guy here, there's a suspension guy here, there's a chassis guy here, there's an electronics guy here, there's an accessories guy here, there's a bunch of Japanese engineers here telling us all about this motorcycle. And it is a really advanced motorcycle for Suzuki. It's the most advanced motorcycle that they've ever come out with. And you sense that when you're riding it. There's a lot of sophistication, a lot of things going on, but it's very easy to manipulate it. It's very easy to understand it all, and it all flows together real nice. This thing we were a little bit upset with as American journalists is this beautiful blue color that we're riding around, and it's Suzuki's signature blue. We don't get this one. We get a green one in the US. We'll put pictures of that one in the video. So yeah, that was a little kind of confusing that they would do that to us. But otherwise, the bike comes pretty much as you see it. You know, you've got the saddlebags, you've got the hand protectors, you've got the windscreen that's got like 3 different adjustments on the windscreen. But wait, you got to do that in your garage because it's nuts and bolts to change it. So it is adjustable, but it's not easily adjustable. So that's kind of a little bit of a dig. The other dig I would say is that for an $18,000 motorcycle, it doesn't even have self-canceling turn signals on it. Come on, really? I mean, I don't know. That's kind of confusing, but it does have cruise control, and the cruise control works nicely. All in all, the motorcycle's got a lot going for it. If you like a sport bike type of ride, that's what you're gonna get with this bike. Even when you're in like the comfort setting, it's stiff. The basic setting is stiffer, and the active setting is really stiff. And the traction control modes change with each of those as well. And so it's basically a bike that wants to go fast. It's got tall suspension, and they call it a crossover. Not exactly sure how that works as a crossover. I guess just because it's got more ground clearance. It works, but it's really for somebody who wants to really pin it, wants to really rev it, wants to really hang it out in the turns on pavement, I would say. I would not take this bike down anything more than a very, very smooth gravel road. Even though it does have high ground clearance, the suspension is, like I said earlier, it's stiff, and it is made for going fast on pavement, frankly. That's what it wants to do, and that's what this bike exceeds at, does it really well. As far as kind of the touring, the way it looks and going places on the bike, it's got the camshell saddlebags, you know, they open this way, and they're the typical OE accessory in that if you forget something and you've got your helmet and your gloves on and your bike is running and you need something out of your saddlebag, you can't get it until you turn the bike off and get the key out and use this. So I know there's fixes for that. Some guys will just buy another key and put a cap on it with some epoxy and just leave it stuck in the saddlebags, but it's kind of an inconvenient thing. This bike, as you can see, I just took the key out of the ignition. It is not keyless like a lot of the newer bikes are going these days. All in all, the bike it's good if you're that kind of customer. If you're the kind of guy who wants to get on a bike that has a little bit of ability to go maybe on different types of surfaces, but really what you want to do is get in the twisties and go fast, this might be the bike for you. It's $18,499 is the MSRP for our US market. So take it for what it's worth. It's got its pros, it's got its cons. It's for a unique type of customer, I believe, but it is the 2024 GSX-S1000GX.